First in high definition from the station on your side, this is WAVY News 10.
A Virginia woman held hostage in Somalia is on her way home, and she has SEAL Team 6 to thank.
The Virginia Beach-based team is the same one that killed Osama bin Laden last year. 32-year-old Jessica Buchanan, an American aid worker, and 60-year-old Danish national Paul Thisted were kidnapped in October. 10 on your side, Stephanie Harris has been following developments all day. Stephanie?
Nicole, Tom, this was a high-risk job, but one that just couldn't wait. That's because we're told Jessica Buchanan here from Bedford County has a medical condition, and it's believed that her condition could be life-threatening. So when the U.S. got intel about where she was and who had her, the president gave the order on Monday to go in after her.
In fact, the president himself tipped off the world to the rescue when he thanked Defense Secretary Leon Panetta on his way into the State of the Union address.
Good job tonight. Good job tonight.
The job went down like this. SEAL Team 6 parachuted into Somalia in the middle of the night and crept into an outdoor camp. A firefight erupted and at least 9 kidnappers were killed. No Americans are reported dead. The rescuers rushed Buchanan and Thisted to a waiting chopper and whisked them away.
Once again, a remarkable testament to the Special Operations Forces. These guys are absolutely incredible.
So incredible, many want to post it and shout it from the rooftops, as they did in this video taken last year when the same SEAL team killed terrorist Osama bin Laden. But the Special Operations Force is supposed to work in secrecy, and a former SEAL talked to 10 on your side and sends this stern warning.
My advice to officials is to shut up.
Well, as you heard, Scott Taylor there has some strong feelings about this. Many blame the media for putting out this information. Hear who Taylor believes is to blame and what he wants to see done about it. That's coming up tonight at 6. Stephanie Harris, 10 on your side.
Jessica Buchanan attended Valley Forge Christian College in Pennsylvania. The school president says everyone is happy she's safe.
About middle of the night, I have to check my email, and here's a note from Andy that she'd been rescued. And it's like, you go from this on hold to absolute excitement and gratitude that she's safe.
Buchanan's brother-in-law, Andy, currently attends the school. A show of support for Navy SEALs on WAVY's Facebook page. Ernest says, go SEALs. From Laura, great job, SEALs. And from Amanda, our SEALs did another great job. Head over to our Facebook page, WAVY TV 10, and let us know what you think.
640 teachers in Virginia Beach just starting their careers could now be out of a job. The school system needs to cover a $40 million budget deficit. The possible layoffs have far-reaching effects across Virginia Beach, as classrooms will likely have to increase in size and programs could be cut. Then at your side's Melanie Woodrow's outside Kempsville High. Melanie?
Yeah, depressing, raw deal, and clobber. These are the words that Virginia Beach Schools superintendent used to describe the potential layoffs, and the news is no better for teachers, parents, or students. The Virginia Beach public school system educates close to 70,000 students a year.
It's very critical to me.
As Charles Babin's only daughter Ashley prepares to graduate high school, major layoffs could threaten the quality of education in Virginia Beach.
We can't continue to absorb these cuts and everything rock along at the level of success that we've experienced.
Superintendent Dr. James Merrill says 640 teachers who have been on the job 3 years or less were notified their contract may not be renewed.
It is a raw deal that folks beginning their careers need to experience this.
Similar letters went out the last 2 years, but Dr. Merrill says this year it's not a formality.
I'm not at all as confident this year that everyone will be able to come back.
Teachers who retire and increases to classroom size may soften the blow, but Dr. Merrill says some teachers will not make it. He would not speculate how many, but he said he understands if some begin looking for jobs elsewhere.
For your own protection, you probably should cover your bases. On the other hand, what school system is in a position to be hiring right now?
There's cuts that can be made probably anywhere, but school shouldn't be one of them.
It would be harder for students to learn, and it'd be more difficult.
While this senior prepares for college, Virginia Beach public school teachers are educating thousands more to do the same.
We are really discouraged that we must resort to this.
And the superintendent tells me that he will present his budget to the school board on February 7th. Coming up tonight, new at 6, I'll let you know what he says has helped in years past and why he says they can't rely on that help this year. Reporting live in Virginia Beach, Melanie Woodrow, 10 on your side.
And last night, President Obama addressed education in his State of the Union.
Teachers matter. So instead of bashing them or defending the status quo, let's offer schools a deal. Give them the resources to keep good teachers on the job and reward the best ones.
And Virginia Beach School Superintendent Dr. James Merrill said he could see the possibility of merit-based pay in the future, but also said those potential layoffs will affect morale and performance. That would make it difficult for teachers to rise to the occasion.
Virginia Beach police say a woman left 4 small children in a car when she went into social services to look for someone. Officers arrested 32-year-old Damali Hammond and charged her with 4 counts of child neglect. The kids are 18 months, 3 and 5 years old. Police say they are not her children. 68 years in prison. That's the punishment for a man who set up a drug deal that led to the death of a Virginia Beach detective. Jurors convicted Marshall Moyd of first-degree murder and robbery in October. Prosecutors said he arranged a drug deal that led to the shooting of undercover detective Michael Phillips at the Green Run Shopping Center in August of 2008. Co-defendant Ted Carter pleaded guilty to killing Phillips. He's serving a life sentence without parole.
Norfolk police didn't have far to look for a man they say stabbed another at a local library. Police say 52-year-old Thomas Hamilton stabbed a man as he left the Pretlow Library in Ocean View, and police got him at the scene. Hamilton's charged with assault. Investigators have not determined exactly what led to that incident. A 13-year-old boy is getting probation and therapy for beating a kitten to death. Detectives say children were playing with that animal back in May when the then 12-year-old threw it against the wall and then hit it with a stick. You've seen these pictures before. Doctors put the kitten in a cast before the animal died from its injuries a week later.
Police say 2 men with guns robbed a Chesapeake hotel. It happened at the Red Roof Inn on Woodlake Drive last week. Once they got the cash, they took off, but before they got away, surveillance cameras caught both men on tape, but you can only see one of their faces. If you have any idea who this might be, call the crime line.
Golfers will see new warning signs on the greens of a Chesapeake golf course. The required signs will warn golfers about the presence of fly ash. This is at the Battlefield Golf Club. City Council decided the course can stay open for another year while talks continue with the owner and Dominion Power. Developers use 1.5 million tons of fly ash to contour the course. Fly ash, by the way, is a byproduct from coal combustion that can contain heavy metals such as arsenic, lead, and mercury.
Drug testing for welfare recipients tonight at 5:30. The legislation that could crack down on offenders in Virginia. And hear why some people think it could do more harm than good.
An unusual arrival.
I could feel the baby coming out, so I didn't want the baby to fall out while he was carrying me, so I told him to put me down on the ground.
It's quite a story. You're going to hear from a local mom who didn't quite make it inside the hospital.
And it's the first major overhaul of school lunches in more than 15 years. We're on your side with the cafeteria menu changes and what's behind them.
Temperature today around 50, 55 degrees. Got a beautiful sunset, but on the horizon there's some cloudiness, and that's going to move in overnight. Plus, we got something else too. We'll tell you all about it in just a few minutes.
You're watching WAVY News 10 at 5 with Tom Shad, Nicole Libas, and Super Doppler 10 Chief Meteorologist Don Slater.
That frozen pizza your child eats in school, it's about to get a makeover. First Lady Michelle Obama and Agriculture Secretary Tom Vilsack announced higher nutrition standards for school lunches, including those pizzas. Next year, the meals will have more whole grains, fruits, and vegetables. Salt will be drastically limited, a process that will be phased in over the next decade. Those pizzas, well, they'll stay on the menu made with healthier ingredients.
When we send our kids to school, we have a right to expect that they won't be eating the kind of fatty, salty, sugary foods that we're trying to keep from them when they're at home.
Schools that meet the new requirements will receive an extra 6 cents of federal funding per meal, and it's up to each district to figure out how to adjust the budget to meet those guidelines. Norfolk Public Schools Nutrition Director Helen Phillips was on stage with the First Lady when those new standards were announced, and Phillips says Norfolk schools have already met many of those requirements, including milk with less added sugar, whole wheat rolls, seasonal salads, and fruits and vegetables as a side every day.
Less people are eating out, and that's why Olive Garden is changing the way it does business. Execs are saying goodbye to the current look and menu, according to the Chicago Tribune. The restaurants will remodel and add lower-priced menu options to meet the current economy. The paper also reported the restaurant is pulling its commercials, which will be replaced with, quote, less perky ads. JCPenney is also making big changes. The retailer says it is permanently marking down all merchandise by at least 40%. Starting February 1st, sale prices become everyday prices. The store will have fewer sales. Pennies will pick items to go on sale each month for a so-called monthly value. Items that don't sell well would go on clearance and be tagged best price. That's the cheapest price. Pennies will also use whole figures, so that means no more $19.99. It'll be just $19 or $20.
All right, those are numbers. How about this? Notice something here? Look closely. School. It's misspelled. It's been that way for a while, and you're going to hear who made this error.
And a special delivery. A pregnant woman didn't make it inside a local hospital, but she was close. We'll tell you where she gave birth and introduce you to her newborn daughter. It's a girl. 10 on your side first showed you these pictures of a woman giving birth on the front lawn of Naval Medical Center Portsmouth yesterday.
And tonight, Mom, Dad, and baby Riley, they're all doing well, and they're ready to go home.
They spoke only to 10 on your side's Ann McNamara. What a story they have to tell, Ann.
Nicole, the entire labor took less than an hour. Mina Siebert and her husband Cody drove from home in Hampton to the hospital in Portsmouth. Now, they got the first spot, and when she stepped out of the truck, her water broke. Now, the thought was Cody would carry his wife like this the rest of the way. Well, they came this close.
Didn't quite make it to the hospital.
It's not your average baby picture. There are far too many hands, too many feet, too many strangers.
So I took my blouse off, whatever, and I put it over her. And then we had some people around her, like, holding their jackets up, trying to block her.
They had to get her inside ASAP.
Mina Siebert gave birth the old-fashioned way, without a doctor, without an epidural, and without any notice.
I could feel the baby coming out, so I didn't want the baby to fall out while he was carrying me. So I told him to put me down on the ground.
50 feet from the truck that didn't drive fast enough, and a couple more feet from the hospital door. 6 pounds and 9 ounces of pure joy came into this world. Her name is Riley. Riley Payton, and she wants everyone to know it.
Oh man, she was a drama queen the whole pregnancy, so this is definitely characteristic of her to come in like this.
Dad is grateful an off-duty nurse stopped to help to wrap baby Riley in a coat. Mom is grateful everyone's happy and healthy, and that the labor didn't take too long.
I don't know how people go through 2 days of doing that. It's ridiculous.
And after all this, they joke their first daughter might just be their only child.
You would not believe the story that we have for you.
As you can imagine, they cannot wait until she's old enough to really understand her own story. And doctors kept Riley for extra testing because of the circumstances, but they say she should be ready to go home by tonight. Guys, what an incredible story. A lot of people asking me, now, why didn't the father drop her off at the front door? You know, you just don't think, when it comes to that, he got the first spot.
You have no idea, right?
He saw it open, he pulled right in.
Well, it's good to know everybody's okay.
That's right.
Thanks,
Great
Ann.
story. Well, from the front lawn to this, a moving car. That's where a woman in Texas gave birth. Her husband is recording the baby's arrival. He's driving, too. He's going down the highway. You're going to hear from these new parents at 5:30.
America's favorite weatherman, Al Roker, is in Hampton Roads supporting an organization dear to his heart. Teens with a Purpose is a faith and community-based group. The board of directors held an appreciation luncheon at the Town Point Club downtown this afternoon. The Today Show weatherman and host serves on the board. He actually visits a few times a year to help with forums and other events. Roker told me everyone should take the time to volunteer.
Any organization, their lifeblood is volunteerism. Money is nice, donations, in-kind donations, but you know, giving of yourself is the ultimate charity. So to volunteer, to be part of an organization, I think is really important. And whether it's Teens with a Purpose or some other group, give of yourself. That really is the ultimate donation.
Various local companies and government agencies provide services for Teens with a Purpose. The group addresses issues such as STDs, teen dating, and bullying. Find more information on how you can help out under featured links on WAVY.com.
Now, in high definition, your Super Doppler 10 forecast with Chief Meteorologist Don Slater.
Not a bad day. It was a little cooler, obviously, but around 50 degrees near the coastline, around 55 degrees a little farther inland. In fact, even upper 40s near the coastline for much of the day. Here's what's out there. We got clouds moving in, but no rainfall in sight, and it'll take a long time for that rainfall to move on in. And we might see a stray shower tomorrow night, but the bulk of the rain is going to be from this area on down into the southern Mississippi Valley. That will swing northeastward, so a very good chance of rain coming in by Friday during the first part of the day. We're going to see the clouds, but we're also going to see some warmer air. But I wanted to show you in this wide view where our weather is coming from, and now we'll zoom in on things and show you what's going on for us. A few thin clouds over the area. We'll see thicker clouds by 9 o'clock this evening, an easterly wind at 5 to 10 miles an hour. More cloud cover by tomorrow. Now, tomorrow during the day, we can see an isolated shower toward the northern neck, but that would be about it. Here's where we are at the noon hour, and during the afternoon, pow, a real solid slug of warmer air moves on in. Winds increase out of the south-southwest, 10 to 15 miles an hour. A break in the cloud cover is possible. We'll take you to the midnight hour, and it'll likely stay warm at midnight tomorrow night, but 15, 25 mile an hour winds. Stray shower. This would be a little better shot at some rain overnight tomorrow night, but our best chance of rain is going to come from this actual cold front. 15, 25 mile an hour winds on Friday morning. Starting the day out rather windy and definitely warm. It'll likely be into the low 60s at 7 o'clock in the morning. Take it to 10 o'clock in the morning. Still warm. Rain moving on in. Take it to the noon hour. North winds 15 to 25 miles an hour. Temperatures dropping with that northerly wind into Virginia and most of eastern North Carolina by the noon hour on Friday. So very, very changeable weather first thing on Friday. Here's where things are. 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 15, 20 mile an hour winds. And then by the later afternoon hours, it starts to move on off. We start to clear in Virginia. A couple of stray showers continuing across the Outer Banks. Got all that? Well, we'll kind of line it up for you and show you what's going on with our 7-day forecast here in just a second. Tomorrow morning, rather chilly, but it'll it'll drop to around 40 overnight and then stay there during the day tomorrow, rising to around 61, 62, 63 degrees. And then we start to warm up overnight into Friday morning, 62 to 65 at that time of day. There's where we are, 10 o'clock in the morning, but then by noon the temperature drops and stays down for the rest of the day. Now this is kind of fun. This is what's called a sundog, and it's basically refraction and reflection off of cirrus crystals. That was a little earlier on when we had that sundog. Right now the sun is below the horizon, mostly clear skies. Temperatures into the mid-40s after high temperatures near 50 degrees. Overnight we'll see that cloud cover move on in, and thereafter again the cloud cover will really sock us in for the day for tomorrow. We'll drop to around 40 for tomorrow by tomorrow morning. 63 tomorrow during the day, 64 early on Friday, then dropping, and then temperatures stay down after that.
A story of survival. What a woman ate while trapped nearly 1 week in her car. Hear how she ended up like this.
And do you know where your veteran is buried? Tonight, why hundreds of vets were buried in the wrong place and what's being done to fix the problem at 5:30.
The man overseeing the search effort of the Italian cruise ship disaster says it would take a miracle to find any survivors now, but recovery operations will continue. Today, divers set off 2 controlled explosions on the toppled Costa Concordia to allow easier access. Rescuers have found 16 bodies. 17 are still unaccounted for. Workers are preparing to remove 500,000 gallons of fuel from the ship before it leaks into the Tuscan Sea. Pumping is expected to begin Saturday. The cruise ship ran aground and capsized off the island of Giglio on January 13th, forcing the panicked evacuation of 4,200 passengers and crew. A Virginia Beach couple is among the survivors.
A Texas woman says she lived on candy and water for 5 days after she got lost, made a wrong turn and crashed her car in Idaho. Police say that she stayed in her car because she was told not to leave a vehicle if she became stranded. The woman says she honked the horn several times, flashed her headlights, but the car's battery died. So she sat inside eating peanut butter, M&Ms, drinking bottled water. The victim finally went for help when the pond started to fill with water. She says she received treatment at the hospital for dehydration, then went home to take a shower and get a good night's sleep.
Someone gets an F in spelling for the mistake outside a New York school. Take a look at this. This is what the New York Post spotted on the pavement outside a high school in Manhattan. School is misspelled, and the word crossing is missing an I. It's apparently been like this since 2010. The city says a contractor made the mistake when workers ripped up the street for utility work, then replaced the markings. Now crews gave the street a spell check. Utility workers used heavy machinery to erase the mistake on the asphalt. Then they fixed it with permanent industrial textured tape.
After it sat that way for 2 years.
Wow.
Interesting. A dazzling light display in the sky will tell you what's behind this spectacular show.
Saying goodbye to legendary coach Joe Paterno tonight at 5:30. See just how long thousands of people waited to pay their final respects.
Hey, Justin's trying to talk to you guys. And this is Katie on A2.
Thank you.
So.
Mic check, Stephanie.
Check, check, check. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you.
Why do I keep getting...
Let's see, save as. Who? You. Oh, hi.
Thank you.
Borealis.
Mic check, Tom.
The Aurora Borealis. Take a little trip to Finland right now. The northern lights are lighting up the sky there. Their intensity comes from the biggest solar storm in 6 years. Airports had to redirect flights yesterday because of interference with airline radio communications. The Aurora Borealis also danced across the sky in Ireland and northeast England. An aurora appears when a magnetic solar wind slams into the Earth's magnetic field, exciting electrons of oxygen and nitrogen. It sounds poetic. Stay with us. WAVY News 10 at 5:30 starts